been going the whole time.
I think he's in my 336 class right now, Florian.
Does anybody remember or know right off what Ashley's app idea was? I was just gonna
Yeah,
post.
hers was the parking app,
That's right. Thank you.
which sounds like a lot of database work that we would have to.
Yeah, get connected to the cameras and
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah,
it's
that
it
it's
seems
a
like
great
a
idea.
yeah. Like I mean I would be up for that. I think it's a great idea, but as I said, for the level for our level right now, I don't think we're quite well. At least, just I don't want to speak for you, but at least where I'm at, I would have a really hard time just trying to get that like app working, or just at least just a program just to get connected to the like security database and like the
Yeah.
cameras, just like having the diagram of like update itself like and like every time someone moves or whatever. So I think it's just a little bit
Yeah,
overcomplicated
I
for where
totally
I'm at.
agree. I think it's a fantastic idea, but not for, yeah, like you said, not for me. I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm doing here, so I need something simple. Anyway, I posted all of the ideas to our group, so feel free to just choose your
Comment.
favorite. Yeah, pick your favorite too, and we can narrow it down. See what people think next week.
So should we just do that then? Like, should we just like vote pretty much next week, and then just like we can just do the presentations right now?
That's my thought. Yeah, just and yeah, just vote whenever you get a second, and then next week we can see which apps are winning, I guess, and we'll just go with that if that works for everybody.
It works for me.
Yep.
Okay, so should we just get to our presentations?
Yeah.
You want to go first, Adam, or do you want me to? Mine'll be short and sweet, I'll tell you that.
Let's see. Sure. Why not?
Sure, you want to go first, or sure you want me? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
How many of you were able to watch Brother James' presentation on local storage?
Was that the first one that he did? The very first? Because he did another one. Okay, yes, I did watch it then. How much I remember is a different story.
So you're going to see a lot of the same, I would say. Because I was trying to figure out, something different. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So Lindsay saw it. Chino and Melissa, did you guys see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Or did you see Brother James?
No, we did not.
Oh,
I didn't see
no, I
it yet.
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, me either. I didn't see it yet.
All right. So local storage. So what is the big deal with it? And for all of your past coding classes, I'm sure you've probably learned about cookies. And the big difference there is cookies can only hold like 4 kilobytes of data, and they also come with expiration dates, and that data is also transferred through a server. So a person's information has to transfer through the servers in order to be stored and then pulled back, and so it's using a lot of data. The benefit of local storage is it can hold more data, up to 5 megabytes. There currently isn't any way of increasing that amount, but it also increases the user experience, especially for mobiles, because it's not taxing on a server to try and pull up information. So the reaction time and response time is much faster. You can set different lengths of how long the data will last. You can either code it with local storage, which basically would last forever, or you can code it as a session storage. and that will last as long as the browser is open, or until the browser closes. Sorry. So how it's written is you use JavaScript to sort of create these little batches of data. And so local storage dot set item with the key name, and then you set the key value. So as the example here shows, you can have the local storage dot set item age 33, or you can set the session, so it's only based on how long the user has the window open for. Or you can even say local storage dot age and just put the key value. So whenever you place the period, that's sort of saying, stating the key name, which is age, and then the key value. So that's setting the data, and then the way you retrieve it is that you would create a variable, and you can either call it the same way as far as local storage.age, or you use the get item with the key, with the key name that you're wanting to retrieve. Any questions so far?
No. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see here. So the only thing that can be stored within a local storage is strings. That's the only thing that can be stored on it. And so we use JSON in order to convert JavaScript objects into strings. And the way you do that is listed below here. So you could create a local storage dot place, and then you use JSON stringify that then converts that object into a string, so it can be stored locally. And then to recover that, to retrieve the JSON string, you would have to create a variable and use the parse command. And then you can then reuse that variable to call certain parts of your JavaScript object. So that's that, and let me pull up some code that I have. Give you a real life example. Okay, so for this first example, I was trying to make something out of a form. So the idea that I was trying to do on my own was to create a form that when a person is typing in like their name, and let's say they accidentally closed their browser window, that once they went back to the website, it would recall their information. I unfortunately wasn't able to achieve that yet. There's a lot more that goes into it. My research, like jQuery type of things. But if you look at this little bit of code down here, this is like really basic. So here you're calling a key name, and then you set the key value.
Mm-hmm.
So here you've got the cheese as the last name, or you can set this to whatever value you wanted. And so local storage is just recalling that information. That's what that is showing there. And this block of code also as far as compatibility for browsers, most browsers these days are compatible, but you can place this block of code in order to test whether or not the browser is compatible for local storage or not. So the next example is more I guess gives a better idea of what's going on. And the code for this page is right here. So here's the JavaScript creating a function, the page load counter, and it sets the local storage to the value of 0. So whenever you load the page, it's going to add the number 1, and it's supposed to count how often you've viewed that page. So if I reload it, it's 2 times. Reload it, 3. If I close out of the browser window and then reopen it, it still held the same local storage, so it's keeping track of how many times I've viewed this page.
Oh.
And then in order to clear that data, or data, whatever, in this button on click, there is an API of .clear, and that will just clear whatever local storage the user may have on their device.
So so you created a button, right? You created a button for that?
Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, so this button should clear it. So once I click it, it should all go away. So once I refresh this page, it will reset back to 1. And so usually what people use this for is, let's say you have a big long form that you're trying to fill out, and you never technically hit the submit button to apply for whatever you're signing up for. They'll install like a local storage of all that information in case you ever come back to that page. So all your information is already like filled out for you. So that would then make it easier for them to sign up that next time. And then the submit button would actually clear their local storage because they would no longer be needed. So.
That's cool. I never knew that's how it worked.
So you can also do that for like a shopping cart, right?
Right.
It just pretty much resets everything, right?
Once you, how am I gonna? Sorry, trying to escape out of sharing my screen. Do you see a button?
Is it the green on the left when you?
It should be at the bottom.
There you go. Good job. No, so yeah, so if you have, I guess, your items in your cart and you haven't technically checked out, you could store, I guess, those items locally.
Yeah, Amazon does that because I'll put things in my cart and then close it and come back like days later and it'll still be there. So that must be how it's doing it.
Yeah, I think there's a code behind it to time it, like he was explaining early. Like if you log off or log back in, it will clear out the shopping cart, so you have to add the item again.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, that was good. Mine's not that.
Good job, Adam. Do we have to clap right now?
Well done, Adam.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I spent about all day today, and I still don't know it.
Hey, you did a really good job. Thank you.
That's how mine is too. But mine kind of relates to yours. Let's see. Just a second. because I did JSON. Let's see, touched on it. Share my screen.
It's really neat how all of these languages are actually like
Connected.
Yeah, connected.
Okay. So, whoa. Hang on a second, sorry.
Your computer starts to slow down once you do a screen share, doesn't it?
Yes.
No, mine did.
Okay. So.
Quick question. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So since we have to share like same topics every week or whatever, we're just pretty much explaining the same thing, right? Because there's not gonna be like much more to say than what other people have already said in the like previous presentations, right?
I think there'll be overlap, but Brother James had said, like once you kind of get a basic understanding of it, then you can be more in depth the next time. So I think they'll kind of grow. I think there will be some repetitive information, especially up front where we're all just being introduced to all of these. But later on, he said they should be like building off of each other, so they should be getting more in depth as we go. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Unless anyone else had anything to add to that.
Nope.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, so JSON, why is this not changing? There we go. So it stands for JavaScript Object Notation, which is just used to store and exchange data between the browser and the server over a network connection. And then it will also read and display the information from the server onto a web page. And it basically does the same thing as XML, which is used by Ajax, only JSON is a more concise way of doing it, so it's an alternative to XML. And from everything that I've read, it seems like a better alternative because the main difference, besides it being like a shorter syntax, was that JSON can store arrays and XML can't. And then some other important background, I guess you could call it, or features, is that it's language independent, which means that it can be used or read by almost any other programming language. So even though it's technically like a subset of JavaScript, you can use it like with PHP and whatever else. And then it's also so easy to read and display and write because it's human readable text, so it's not anything too crazy. So the valid data types that can be stored in JSON are numbers, strings, booleans, arrays, objects, and nulls. So in this example here, I don't know if I mentioned this, everything's stored in key value pairs, kind of like Adam showed, I guess. So you can store a number, or you can store any of these data types. So in this example, the key of first name, it has a string for the value, so the string of John, and then the key is alive has a value, or a Boolean value, so that would be true, and then the key age obviously has a number, and then the phone numbers, so down a little bit, the phone numbers, that is an array of key value pairs, and then the address is an object with key value pairs, and then at the very end, the key of spouse has the null value. And this was a little bit confusing, but array and object, they're slightly different. And when you would use one over the other, this is what's confusing to me. So an object is used when the order of the elements is not important. And an array is used when there is importance to the order. So hopefully that made some sense. Change. Okay, so like I said, the syntax is pretty simple. It uses key value pairs to store data, and then each pair is separated by a comma if you're doing more than one pair in an object. And then all objects use curly braces to store the key value pairs, and all arrays use square brackets. So that's another way you can tell the difference. Let's see. And then obviously you could nest an array inside of an object or an object inside of an array or anything like that. And that was pretty much it. So this was the code that I was playing with. Let me pull it over here. So I made these 3 different objects that are people. So these are the key value pairs, 1, 2, and 3. And then this is how it, oops. So then down here, this is how you would access them. Object 1 and then the key. So up here, object 1 and then the key. And then it will obviously return the value for you. So this is what it looks like. So these are all the keys and then the values for them, and then how you can use them to print out a whole string. And that's pretty much all I got so far. There wasn't a whole lot more to it, but obviously it somehow relates to local storage and whatnot, so I imagine the next go around can be a little more in depth.
That's awesome.
Good
Sorry,
job,
it was short and simple.
That was good.
It was good, yeah. I'm sure we'll be able to go into more depth once we feel more comfortable with it too.
Right, I hope. Oh, go ahead.
Little observation about the code. It seems like a little bit like you said, is a JavaScript code, but the layout, how it's layout is almost like a CSS.
Yeah.
You know how you always close it, close brackets and all that.
Yeah.
Like a combination of both.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like their baby.
And then, so maybe I wasn't going to show this, but let me find my other, because I was messing around with 2 other files, but I couldn't get them to actually print. But I think it has to do with what Adam was talking about, using the parse. I don't know if this is the right one. Anyway, they ended up just being blank. But I
the
think
parse, that's if you convert it into a local storage, is when you would need the parse.
Well, so one of the other, I don't have it open still, but there was
the parse is, Adam, the parse is when you ask for information from the user, right? Is that correct? Do you use that code? No?
No. So the stringify, the JSON stringify is what converts the object or array from the JSON component here.
Gotcha.
It converts it into a string.
Got it.
And then the parse converts it back into the object. Because local storage can't store anything other than string data.
So you have to convert it, kind of modify it, and then store it, and then we're trying to modify it back to bring it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm trying to pull up this thing that I was looking at because it was saying something. Maybe it's not parse specifically, but it was something else like that to get it to. Yeah. Okay. Let me show this one. So for this example, I mean they have their variable and then all their pairs, and then they had to change it to an object. And then this is what let's not scroll down. This is what I couldn't understand was, too far. Yeah, this is where I got confused. So somebody turned that into an object, and then this is how they access it. But it wasn't working when I did it. And I figured it was something to do with this parse thing. Anyway, I imagine it will all come together a little later, but
Hmm.
right now, as much as I got.
Well, good job.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Not much. Sorry, it's not more informative.
No, you're good. What meetings are for? Okay. Do we need to talk about something else?
I don't think so. I think we're
Did
good
you
for
guys
this
see that?
week.
Did you guys see the GitHub what do you call that thing? He wants us to
Sandbox.
sandbox. Have you guys done that yet?
The
No.
CIt261-Team 1?
I think that's
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I must
it's
have
an
missed something.
it's an individual assignment, so everybody has to do it, and you have to create. You kind of have to. Adam, it's like you have to look for a code, or you have to share a code, or something like that.
I think it has something to do with the things that are presented here. Needs, like, you need to try it out, I guess, in your own
Gotcha.
sandbox, I guess.
So, is it possible that, Adam, would you post your presentation into our Google Drive folder? I'll post
Yes.
mine too, not that mine's all that helpful, but that way we can kind of like review each other's notes. Do you think that we can do that?
Yes, I will do that.
Because I took notes on yours, but I would like to see the syntax and stuff more.
I'll do that right
Yeah.
now.
Or are we gonna also post this recorded presentation, or?
Yeah, so this has to be posted to the Google community page. So I will do that as soon as we're done. And then somehow he had said we are supposed to alert him to when our presentations were. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. Like,
I think
Invite.
he wanted us to invite him to our meetings, not necessarily that he was going to join all of them, but that he would like jump into our meetings if he needed to, or if he could, we could ask him questions or whatever, but he wasn't going to do it for each meeting. But I think he wanted to
right.
an invitation to.
Yeah, I think you're right. But he had said something about, like, in the video, somehow you're supposed to tell, like, what time you start presenting or something like that. But I'm not sure how that all works. Maybe he'll explain it a little bit more since this is the first one.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, I think we're good then, and we'll just figure it all out as it comes.
All right, local storage is available on our Google Drive.
Awesome, thank you. I'll post mine up there just for the heck of it too, but maybe that could be something that we do. Just post our notes for everyone else to see or refer back to.
How embarrassing.
No, I need all the help I can get, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, so next meeting then will be Thursday
Next
around the
Thursday.
same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same time, 6 work, and okay. then-
So quickly, Lindsay, I think we have 4 presentations that day. Every meeting we have 4 presentations. Is that correct?
Let's see. Let me pull up the.
Because I signed up for.
So next week there's just 3 of us signed up,
Okay.
and then there's 4 for 4 weeks in a row, and then back to 3 for the last week.
Sounds good.
So next week it's me and Adam and Chino. So.
Hop on, Melissa.
Okay. The week off.
Just
Sorry,
kidding.
I was reading the initial understanding portfolio thing that we have to do.
Oh yeah.
So that's another. Has anybody set their, I guess, portfolio on their website up yet?
No.
Okay. So I'm not
No,
I feel like I'm a little behind. I don't understand some of this.
yeah, there's a lot that I'm finding like throughout the layout of the course that I'm like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't
I
know
had no
about that.
idea. So there's a lot that I need to try and catch up on, and hopefully,
I
hopefully
create
the other
that
gyms will.
portfolio on GitHub and pretty much just do our sandboxes over there.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
my whole thing is lost
Hey,
on me.
I'm,
One
I'm
thing
gonna
at a time.
I'm gonna send you guys this link. See if everybody can see it.
Okay.
What is it a link to?
This is a link to GitHub, and it teaches you how to
Okay.
do like portfolios, websites,
Well, that'll be
things like that.
helpful.
That will be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
he wants.
Oh, go ahead.
No problem. I think he wants us to just create a portfolio in GitHub, and most
Oh,
people like IT companies and development companies actually wanted to see your portfolio in GitHub because it's like the IT website. So that's why he wants us
Nice.
to start
Is
doing that.
that in addition to the portfolio on our individual sites? 'Cause
No,
you said
you
something.
can actually create a website, but you have to have a link to your assignments, so
Okay.
a page to your assignments, and that's what he's talking about on the beginning of the class. Like he wants to have that link accessible to go see it and see what you accomplished.
Okay, and then he made another comment that maybe somebody knows better than me, is that he said he doesn't just want a link to GitHub only if GitHub runs your program. What does that? How does Git? I didn't know. I thought that's all GitHub was like a storage.
Yeah,
But
so GitHub is more into sharing information in our team, and I mean, like we all do use like NetBeans, or you can use other editors for writing code.
so let's see if I can find his comment real fast because it didn't make sense to me. Um, there's a question.
Sorry, question. For this initial understanding portfolio assignment, are we supposed to attach the code that we wrote that we have on our portfolio? So we grab that same code that we created and we just submit it on this assignment because it just like has like like a submit assignment. So it just maybe I'm not understanding it correctly, but I don't know what are we supposed to do on this. I mean, yes, what we're supposed to do, but I don't know what he wants us to submit for this assignment.
so as far as that goes, my understanding is whatever topics are discussed for that week, everyone is just supposed to go out and sort of create their own version of what they learned, I guess.
Okay, and then submit it through our learn.
Yeah, yeah, and just continually, I guess, improve it because the whole disagree, agree grading that he does is dependent on how well, like if you just copy and paste the code from the W3C website, whatever, that's not good enough. He's wanting us to push ourselves to try and take these principles or the code that we're learning and really try and push ourselves to learn as much as we can, and he'll see that through our code,
Okay.
I guess. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a way for him to find it on the web easily to see if you just copied and pasted it.
Yeah.
So this code is what we shared today, right, Adam? Like it's only 2 or 3 codes that he's requesting.
So
it's something that, like what you discussed, we can actually go in there, create something, and
yeah, like JSON
play with it. Yeah.
local
Got it.
storage. that's what I think is all that we would need to add to our portfolio or code, whatever.
That's something that we have to practice and then try it and then submit it on this assignment.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay, so let me read this real quick and tell me. Well, so he says in response to somebody else, hosting is for the project and definitely the portfolio code. If you have GitHub configured so it runs your code, that's fine. If I only receive a link to your GitHub repo and I have to just look at it to see your understanding, or worse, copy it to my server and see that it functions, that's not enough. I need to see the code doing its thing. So does GitHub actually run a program?
No, you can actually share the repository to him, so he can actually go inside and see the code, what you uploaded, what you submitted. You've taken 260, right? So it's like the Java code.
Yeah, just the way that he worded it is that he doesn't want to just have to look at it, or am I just misinterpreting what he's saying?
Well, he wants to go inside the document and see the actual code. So when he clicks on it, it will display exactly what you added, what you took off, what is the code, and what looks like line by line, I guess.
See, to me, that's just him looking at it, which is what he's saying he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to just look at it. He wants to see it working, see that it functions.
So does GitHub compile?
Yeah, I guess that's a bit.
I don't think GitHub compile anything. I think it's just a storage area that you can store and share files with the team.
Okay, that's what I thought. So maybe
So
I'll
we're
have to ask.
actually submitting the link to our portfolio and not the code itself on the iLearn assignment.
No, that one you have to write down the code and then copy paste it on that assignment for this week.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, we can call it good and come back to whatever, because I feel like I'm just spinning in circles. Because that's what I thought. I thought GitHub was just a place to hold your code. I didn't think it did anything. But then from that comment, it makes me think that it should be doing something. So I don't know.
Same. Yeah. I'm lost.
Maybe I'm just
fine.
the idiot, so don't listen to me.
No, I think sometimes he probably wants you to do a little bit more. So if you know that you can do this in GitHub, maybe he wants you to do something better or more. Sometimes it feels like.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're good for tonight, and we can work through all our issues as they come, or I can anyway. So.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Good job, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you.
See you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.